Hey everyone, it's really great to welcome you to this being episode 8 of At the Table from Arena Church. My name's Kristian Thorpe. I'm the lead pastor of Arena Church, and we've been doing this now for a number of episodes, and I hope you're enjoying it. My understanding is this is flying around possibly even the world in some contexts, which is quite amazing. Today, we're going to be specifically talking about relationships, and that being marriage. And in a moment, I'm going to introduce properly Helen and Tim to you. But just to say that if you're listening to this or watching this and you are wanting to invest in what I believe is the greatest relationship that we're ever given outside of our relationship with Jesus, being our marriages, then I'd encourage you to book in. We have an event that's happening. We're calling it the Date Night, and it's on Friday evening of the 16th of Feb, so just a few weeks away, at 7 o'clock at our Ilkeston location. There is information that'll come on the screen how you can book in via the website, and also to say it's an investment from our church into you, and so it's absolutely free. Right. So all the resources, all the food, everything that we're going to be doing is absolutely free. So I'd encourage you to be involved in that. So let's drive into the content, shall we? As I said, it's great to have Helen, the better half, and Tim, Bailie. Seriously, they're just wonderful people in the life of Arena Church. They lead our Ilkeston campus, great friends of Caroline and myself. And what we've really appreciated, I've appreciated from you guys, is not just how you handle yourself in terms of the platform and leadership, but also what I observe outside of church. What I'm really saying is you really are the real deal in terms of the way that you interact one with another, the way that you love one another, and the way that you love your boys as well, which is terrific. Say all that. We know they're not perfect because none of us are, but I want to just ask some questions, and it's almost, if you wanted to go deeper into the whole thought of marriage, you need to book into the date night, because Tim and Helen are going to be part of that evening as well. But I think it'd be good for us to just ask a few questions, and then we'll drive into one or two things that may make you think a little bit more. So it's great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. Thanks, super comfortable. Be relaxed. But I wonder, first of all, because there may be a lot of people, how did you meet?
Wow. Do you want me to take this one, or you want to take this?
No, I'm interested to hear your side.
There we go.
Okay. So Helen and I, we met at a very young age, actually. We were both 15. We'd known each other for maybe a couple of years before that. Through what we used to go to was a camp, a kids camp. It was Nottingham Youth Camp, and that's where we met. And we were both leaders in the same. So we split up into different colours. There's 4 colours, and you're in each, allotted to a team.
Which colour were you in, Tim?
Red, mate.
Oh, you were the red.
We were the Reds.
We're the Reds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So that's important.
Yes.
Nothing to do with this, but it's important that it was red. So we were both leaders at that time, in the context of this team, and we started to get on well, as you do, and of course a little bit of flirting and all the rest of it, the usual stuff that goes on, and Helen, but unbeknown to me, somebody had told Helen there that Tim fancies you. I hadn't said that to anybody, but I had the same person, it turned out, we found out later, say to me, Helen fancies you. So she was obviously on a bit of a matchmaking mission, wasn't she? Yeah. And then I think, long story short, is that on the Friday night, which was the final night of camp, wasn't it? Yeah. We were on the beach as the full camp, and I said something romantic to Helen, like, "Shall we give it a blast?" And that was it. The rest is history. We sat on the bus on the way home together.
Wow.
He held my hand.
Wow.
So it was. That's where it all started, really.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just kids, 15-year-old kids, and the rest is history to some extent, but lots of little stories on
Helen,
the way.
is that the absolute truth? Is that how?
That is absolutely
wow.
True. Just a little bit of an add-on.
From all the men.
Yes, sir.
Just an add-on. So when we got home, my parents said to me, "Have you got anything to tell us?" and I think they were fishing because they'd heard. I didn't want to say that Tim Bailie had asked me out, and so my sister told him, and my mum's reaction was, "Oh no, not that rascal." But I think you've won her over now.
Yeah, some reason I had a reputation, and I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe
it goes before you, and for those who are listening, he's still a rascal, but he's a nice rascal. So how long have you actually been married now for?
Yeah, so we've been married 25 and a half years.
Wow. Which is quite an achievement in this.
26 in May.
Yeah, in this again, culture in which we live with, obviously the breakdown of relationships and marriages. It's to be celebrated. Just a few things, because we'll go there. I just wonder, are there some qualities? I want to say 3, but you can have less or a few more that you really love about one another. Yeah, Helen.
Yeah.
This will be good.
So if I was to describe Tim in 3 different attributes, I would say that he's fun. In terms of he has a great sense of humour, but actually in that he knows when to use it and when not to.
Yes.
So there's some wisdom around it. And actually we probably laugh together most days because of that, and that's good. He has a really big heart. So even though a lot of people will see him as fun, he has a really deep, caring heart. And he is dependable. He's an absolute rock. So even to the point, and this is a little bit twee, but if I know that he's in a room, I feel safe because he's that dependable.
Yeah, which is again another important quality that we may not have time to open up. But again, going back to the date night, these are some of the things that we overlook: fun and dependable, and all those things. You weren't using it as twee, but they're like, they're not.
Yeah.
Give me that is the meat.
Yeah.
They are the significant things that you can build a relationship on. Same question to you.
Yeah, I mean, this.
You can get mushy, mate, if you want.
This woman here, she never ceases to amaze me in how she carries and deals so much in life. So first of all, and primarily from my point of view, and selfishly, she's my wife, and she is amazing at being my wife. But then I see her being a mother to our boys as well, and how she then switches to work and bivocationally at the moment. We've got church here, of course, and as in her nursing background, and all this at the same time, and looking after the home in two, and all this sort of stuff. It always amazes me to see how she just. And she makes it look, she might not feel like it's seamless, but it's seamless, how all this sort of...
Beautiful.
And we sort of, I think the boys recognise it as well a little bit, that she does and carries so much effortlessly between it. Yes, there's times when it feels heavy, isn't it? Absolutely, that's life. But just amazing. But she's also my best friend. I have no other best friends, regardless of how I've told anybody, I don't know. But she is my best friend, and she is a rock in my life. Absolutely. She says I'm dependable for her, but she is a rock in my life, and there's nobody else that I would go to with certain things other than her. And I often get good advice back from her. Absolutely. So yes, all those things are, and there's so much more as well I could say, but those are qualities.
I'm just thinking about what you just say. You get always honest feedback. There's a Proverbs that says an honest answer is like a kiss on the lips, and sometimes we actually don't want the honesty, but we need it, don't we?
No, it's
I like
true.
a kiss on the lips.
Yeah, me too. From the right people. Me and you
There's
are
only
about
one
to go through.
person.
Yeah. Can I just ask you, because obviously when 25 years, 26 years soon to be is a long time, and within that the seasons in life, has every season been bliss?
No.
Yeah.
Because you're Christians within that.
Yeah.
So just paint a bit of a...
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes some Christians think, you look on and think everything's beautiful with Tim and Helen and it's bliss, and you've got a lovely Christian husband, a lovely Christian wife, and that's all true. But you can sometimes get a perception that isn't quite the reality.
No, so I would say in our marriage, has it always been good? Yes. But actually of things come in, maybe externally, like a bereavement, sickness, or even things that might cause worry to us individually, that then starts to rock the home, if you like. And so, no, it's not always been bliss, but we've had to make sure we're intentionally together on things. I remember when we were first married, Tim went through an episode of thinking that he would become ill. And, you know, I was a new wife to this man that I adored, and he started to change a little bit. So he stopped eating. He was consumed with worry, and I didn't really know what to do. We tried talking it out. And at that point, I had to phone his dad and just say, hey, I need some wisdom and some help. And actually that was really helpful, because he came in, but he helped us both in it.
Very good.
And from that, we grew together.
Yeah.
And what we really learned, both of us, was the value of talking. So I think, had it not been for that episode, we wouldn't have then valued how important it is to talk things out, whether it's good things or bad things.
So sometimes hardship brings growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. Yeah. And that wasn't just for a couple of nights or days. No. That was a few months, wasn't it?
Months.
That was going on. And I had no idea where this came from. I had not a care in the world before then. And suddenly it just hit me like a steam train. And I was like literally consumed. And Helen didn't know what to do. And I didn't know what to do. But I've since learned that, you know, why worry about tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
That's what we're told, isn't it? And I've learned to lean on that. But yeah, Helen.
Same question to you. Has every season been bliss? I guess it hasn't, but is there any other things that you can think about that you've had to navigate through?
There are, yes. I mean, not for here really, because some of those are private, if you like, but there have been some heavy moments in our relationship, absolutely, you know, and that's not outside necessarily influence, it's internally influenced. So we've had to navigate, you know, from a relational, not in like we were in a bad way, I don't mean that, but certain things that had happened maybe for Helen that affected her, similar to what we were just talking about me, that we've had to navigate. But then similarly as parents, we've had to navigate with some things that were quite heavy, and how we sort of did that together as a team really helped us. And yes, you grow by experience. Having never been in those positions before, you sort of grow out of those experiences, I think, and that draws you closer if you allow it to, you know, because we can both go differently at it, you know. Maybe it's different ways, which isn't helping the situation, but the key is that we were consistent with it, and that we were together in what we were doing, and I think that helped. But yes, life throws out different things, seasons. The Bible talks about seasons, you know, and that's very important that we recognize that one person at the moment looks happy, and I wish I could be those people. Well, you don't know what they're going through ultimately. We had somebody, sorry to drag this out, but we had somebody within our family say to us that they wished that their relationship was like Helen and I's, because it just looks so perfect and everything, all this sort of stuff. And well, yeah, it might outwardly, but we are working at this. There's things that we're doing in the background to help it be, you know, to be what it is. And it's not all plain sailing in the background. You're always going to have to face something. Something's always going to come around, how you scale that, but how you face it is how you're going to get through it. And if you're going to do it together, you know, you've got a massive chance of bringing it through.
I love already there are things that we definitely will work through, not just on the date night when we're together, but, you know, ongoing. But, you know, there's some clues in that if people have been listening carefully, you know, making sure that you're together on things, making sure you're communicating. I love the fact that you contacted, it so happened to be Tim's dad, but let's remove the relationship, and sometimes you need somebody externally to come in and just help. And of course, people's perception of that everything's beautiful, well, like you say, we've always been good, but there's been things that we've had to work through. And I think they're key things for anybody who's listening. I would imagine we'll have a lot of people listening, watching, who are married or want to get married. And these are not clues. These are, again, blocks to build upon for sure. You mentioned with regards to, I think it was yourself, Tim, obviously with the boys and children. Was it a massive change when you had children? And
obviously kids always change your life, you know. you get excited about having kids if that's, you know, everybody has different journeys in terms of becoming parents and how that works. We understand that totally, but from our point of view, we were excited to be looking forward to having children, and then when they come, you don't really appreciate the change that actually happens, and change does come along. So, for example, from my point of view, as the husband, I kind of lost my wife for a while because she's all about making sure this little bundle is looked after and fed and cared for, and I was involved with the, you know, the kind of modern dad stuff things, you know, I was getting involved with that, but that's where my wife was. She was focused. Helen was focused on that, and I'm like, you know, what about me?
Yeah, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Helen's like now engaged in all of this, but she's needing support from me to make sure, you know, there was times where for example, I was playing football. We talked about this, didn't we? That I was playing football probably 2 or 3 times a week, particularly at the weekends, and I would disappear for more than a couple of hours, wasn't it? It was pretty much half of the day. You'd travel in and getting back, and Helen was there trying to work through the week with the then 2 kids at one point, and it just got, well, I need you around at some point. So I had to make a decision there, you know, how am I going to navigate this? Well, I stopped playing in the afternoon. I played in the morning, thinking that was going to, you know, be the answer, but it didn't really kind of work still. So I hung up the boots, so to speak, and that was just a decision I had to make. It's not everybody's, you know, thing, but yes, kids do change, and I don't know whether you've got anything further to add to that, Helen, but they certainly make a difference for a good. You know, it's you know, you wouldn't change it for the world, of course.
Yeah, and I think you've probably said it, as a mum, you then become even more responsible for individuals. And I guess as a mum, I was seeing it as you have a lot of love to give. So just like sometimes I would give some time to Jack or to Ben, our 2 sons, then other times I'd need to make sure I was giving it to Tim. And I guess sometimes then you felt a little bit pulled and stretched. And it was about making sure your priorities were right. And I've got to say, as a mum and as a wife, I had to go to God with a lot of things, really pray things over, ask for his guidance in making sure my priorities were right. Yeah, and again, going back to, we talked things through. So there was a point where we had the 2 boys, and like Tim said, I think it was actually 4 times he was going to football, not 3. But we had to have that conversation, because actually he was working full time, he was also doing football. I didn't want him to stop that, because it's a passion. But how could we change it so that it bettered our family life?
Yeah. And I think, I mean, you're not saying this, and I'm not being direct. I can be direct, as you know, but I think sometimes we can be in relationships and things change, and we can sometimes operate quite selfishly. Particularly, I see some parents that they want it to remain as they are, but they've got this little bundle that they love, but they still want to do what they want to do. And actually, like you came to the point. It wasn't kicking and screaming, but actually you still love football, but you weren't going to live in that moment selfishly. You knew that Helen needed support. You knew that the boys would want you around. And actually the blessing, because again, I didn't know you then, but now to see what you have, you can see actually, I'm glad that you made those decisions.
It's true. There's hearing somebody and listening to them. You know, I could hear Helen was, you know, or whatever, so I can carry on and do my own thing and keep playing all the rest of it. But am I listening to actually how she's feeling here? Yes, it's going to be a sacrifice. You know, it's something I love. Even to now, I'll talk about football all day. I'll even think I can play it, even though that my legs don't work quite the same. But yeah, I'm going to have to do something here to make this. Now, everybody's situation is different. So, but your sacrifice is still going to have to be thought about. You know, there's going to be some things you're going to have to give, or not necessarily give up, but maybe moderate a little bit more in order to help.
But we don't sometimes do that because we want to live selfishly.
It's true.
So this is where we go back to, don't we?
It's true.
I want to do what I want to do. So I see so many, let me just speak to the young guys there. Well, I'm going into this marriage, but I'm going to still do what I want to do. As a single man. No, you've now entered into the most beautiful relationship. Now, you can still enjoy many things, but you're doing it together. Not independently, not selfishly. And I think, again, people can get into real trouble. And on both sides.
No, absolutely.
Ladies, I'm going to spend what I want. I can do what I want. You know, I'll run. Well, actually, you know, It's a union now. It's a relationship, a partnership.
It's true.
Yeah. Beautiful. And you know, children are a massive part. You're right by saying there are some people who haven't got children or made the decision not, or sadly some may have never had the joy of that, but there are many that do. And of course it does bring changing, it's a changing landscape.
Yeah.
But again, we need to try and watch and observe people who've done it well. And of course your boys now are men in their own rights. And you know, it's great to see. This is just a taster. There's so much more we could work into. So I've just only got one final question that I want to ask you. What are your... Okay, none of us can predict the future. None of us know. But if God was to say to you, I'm going to give you another 26 years, I pray you'll have longer than that because you'll still be young. What are your hopes and aspirations for your marriage ahead? I'm going to ask Helen first.
So... I guess to get better and better and better, to fall more and more in love with one another. That would be important. To always make sure we keep God at the centre, because that is a difference maker.
Yeah, it is.
And then to spend quality time together, go and explore, you know, different places that we want to explore. We enjoy travelling, we enjoy walking, so just to enjoy those things together. And if God was stood before me right now, I'd say, please take me before Tim in those 26 years.
Yeah, we have a bit of a running thing at the moment, who's going first. I think it's probably the same in quite a few relationships, you know. I want to go first and all the rest of it. Well, I got dibs in there first anyway, so Helen's chapter is futile. But I mean... Another 26 years, no problem. I'd love it to be double that, you know, 100%. You know, I'm with my best mate, the love of my life, you know, and there's nobody else that I'd rather be doing life's journey with than Helen. But you think sometimes you can't love someone anymore, and then they do something, and you find that little bit more of increase, if you like. But there's nobody I want to go through life with other than Helen. I love that how she's navigated, like I said earlier on, different things through life, and as we continue to go through things, because there'll be other little you know, bumps and stuff along the way, but as long as we remain together, but we keep God in that triangle, you know. The Bible talks about the three cores, doesn't it? And keeping that strong. So if we believe that if God's in our marriage with us, then it will succeed and continue to succeed as much as it has done right up to now. But that's important that we do keep him involved, because if we then go to our own devices, yes, every chance is that it will succeed and it will go further, but there is more of a chance that then it doesn't, you know, because you've removed the very glue out of it, even though that we do have that glue relationship, but God just cements it, I think, more true. So. And give me another 100 years happily.
Beautiful. There was something that Helen said there, just to grow and grow, and I really would encourage everybody to be committed. If you're in a marriage relationship, to be committed to growing. I think this is one way that we can actually grow our relationships by investing ourselves in events like we're putting on, materials, different things that you can read, because God does want marriages to work. And part of what we'll be looking at, and we're going to explore a bit more on the evening, you know, are some of the things like, you know, there may be people who's listening and watching, you know, they're in conflict at the moment. How do you address conflict? How you've got one person who's not communicating well. I know there was a time just a few years ago where I just, for whatever reason, didn't find it easy to communicate with Caroline. I don't know why, but I just didn't. And figuring that out, because if you've not got communication, it's run through this, you're in a lot of trouble. So these are some of the things that I want to drive into a little bit more, and I'm excited about doing that with you guys, you know, so we can build solid, consistent, God glorifying relationships. And you know, I'm with you. I think it is possible to build a marriage outside of God. There's many successful marriages that God is not in the centre, but I think we have a better chance. For me, it's much easier with God being at the centre, and some of the things that I think you've shared just in these few minutes that we've had, and we're going to explore on the evening. So thanks, guys, for being with us today. A bit of a precursor to the evening. Again, get the information from the website. Please make sure that you book in. This is not going to be just a one-off thing that we're going to do. We are committed to growing. This is a year of growth.
Sure.
And we're wanting to get ourselves ready.
Yeah.
Because opportunity awaits. It's here before you. Take hold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Book in. And let's grow together, and let's see us here at Arena Church build some really quality marriages. I feel like inspired to say this, that maybe some people who are listening and watching, and they haven't got the experience of Tim and Helen. Not everything is hunky-dory.
No, it's true.
But I want to tell you there is always hope.
Always.
And there's always a way forward. And it may be the external. It may be Tim's dad is the date night.
Yeah.
You bringing the date night into your relationship
Yeah.
may actually be the very thing that helps you to set you on course and to build a life that honours God. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks again to Tim and Helen.
Our pleasure.
Really appreciate you.
Good.
And as I say, I look forward to seeing you real soon. God bless you.